Oh yeah, we here. Mikey's in his bag again. What's going on, everybody, man? Yo, we here. Playoffs, man. Football went up until last night, and now we know how the seeding goes. But yo, always I gotta thank the people that make this possible, man. Definitely.
A soldier.
Big time. Definitely big shout out to Mark Wright, Colwell Bankers, Coastal Homes. You're looking to buy a home, give Mark a call today. A presidential award winner, Mark and his staff will definitely help you and your family, whether you're selling or buying. Definitely give Mark a call at 401-787-5203 right now. We also got to give another big shout out to my guys over there doing their thing over at Voice Sports. Go check Voice Sports out now, streaming on Facebook. Another big shout out goes to, I want to find it, I want to be precise, man. Definitely go check out the Stanley Dunbar interview. Wesley secures the number 3 seed. We're going to talk about all that. We actually have a guest coming on. And another big shout out to R&R Elite Recruits. Definitely sign up today. You're looking to get recruited. Give R&R Elite Recruits a call and become part of that R&R Elite family. R&R Elite Recruits.com. Ronnie and his team will definitely take care of you. You know, a lot of things going on. And still thank you to the Scituate Spartans football community doing good things. But we just waiting for our guests to come in. And always a big shout out to 401 Strength and Fitness. You know, check Emerson Kilgore out over there on the 400 block of Warwick Avenue, right near the Apollo Plaza. Dunkin' Donuts is right there. You can get a coffee, a cruller, and then you can go see Emerson Kilgore over there. And definitely. Oh, and don't forget, go check out Ruby Tuesdays, man. You gotta check out my son Eric's show. It's lit. He's getting it done. You know what I'm saying? Go check that out, Ruby Tuesdays. But we want to talk about some playoffs today. Playoffs going on with Central getting so last night's game, really, Central wasn't sure where they were going to end up, but now it looks like Central is going to play. Who's Central going to play? Central's going to play East Providence now. So, you know, Coach Washington and the Knights really have to get ready for the East Providence Athletics. Is that going to be a problem for Coach Washington and Central Knights? But we are actually waiting for a guest right now. While we do that, let me pull up. Hold on. Let me see this for a minute. Let's look and see what we have going on. I'll show you the brackets. We're going to look at the brackets right now. Hold on. Give me a chance to get them up in here. Boom. It's like produce. I do it all. See, I don't have a damn team. Team of one. Here's basically how the brackets are looking. Can you all see that? You're going to have Bishop Hendricken and NK. And that basically is going to be the one. A1 versus B. Hang on. A1 versus B2. Bishop Hendricken, you know, I pretty much have them right now as probably the third best team in Rhode Island right now. You really have to go with LaSalle, who is Division 1B. top dog making it to the state championship game bracket. LaSalle really, and they really didn't have a lot of competition all season. Let's exclude them two out of state programs, that played very, very well. Catholic Memorial, very good football team. But you're going to have Bishop Hendricken and NK, and then you're going to have the second seed, SK, playing good football for a lot of people chopping down SK. They was able to get it done. But respectfully, right, Division One is ass right now. And I'm sure a lot of people can agree on that, but Division One right now is ass. Straight up ass. There's only maybe 4 or 5 teams that you could say are bona fide Division One programs. And I say that respectfully, so, put your panties back on. Calm down. Don't get your phones out and start tweeting and typing already. But I really say that respectfully. Division One is not very good at this point. And not saying Division One is not going to be very good later on, but it changes from year to year, and you see how the alignment goes. Like the RIIL, they have a habit of putting teams up a year late. They put Burrillville up too late. Burrillville has been able to hold their own because they have good coaching program, good coaching staff, but you see them put EG. They move EG up the wrong time. EG, and EG really, they struggled this year. Granted, they went far in the playoffs last year. I wouldn't call last year a real season, with the 5 games. I even consider a lot of them coaches that came into the system and they had their, first year. I was more like practice. This year is really their first year. So you have a lot of teams that are really, really struggling to really find out who they are. And when you put them up a year too late, Pilgrim, they go to Division II. A little too late. You could have put Pilgrim up the year before, so we have to really figure that out. And after the football season, we'll probably definitely talk a lot about this realignment going on. We're going to have another 1-year realignment. What is this? 4 realignments in 4 freaking years? Yeah, you're going to have another realignment. So now what's going to happen here is you're going to have NK and Bishop will face off, right? The winner of that moves on to the state championship game. And then SK and LaSalle, same thing. The winner on, of course, is common sense, moves on to the state championship game. The loser, moves down into this bracket. See, it's a double elimination. It's a double elimination. So the loser ends up moving down into the next bracket. And shout out for the like. Thank you. Please share. Subscribe. That's right. Subscribe now. And definitely check out the YouTube page. High School Coaches channel. I'll definitely put the link up. But now we talked about the D1 state championship game. Now, Central finishing after last night as the 3 seed. There was a chance that Central could have finished as the number 2, but it didn't go the way that they wanted it to. So it looks like on November 5th at 4 p.m., Central and East Providence is going to play each other. How does that look for East Providence? I know Central. I'll tell you what, Coach Washington, he wanted to play LaSalle. That game last night goes a different way. We have a different outcome. I think Central would have grabbed the number 2 seed. They wanted Coach Washington did not want this bracket. He wanted to be, and that was Central's goal from the first week of the season. Their goal was to be in that number one, number two state bracket. The game against SK, you wanted that hurt. At the end of this season, Coach Washington, if you're listening, I know he's going to look at that game and say that game hurt us. Not having a kicking game hurt Central. So from that point on, it was all a must win. They go into Hendricken. Boy, when I watched that game on NFHS, I got to say, the experience was shitty. Salute to NFHS, but I have to keep paying a subscription so I can at least see these games when they're not on Fans Only Sports or they're not on other smaller streaming platforms. So I'm watching that game, Hendricken in Central High School. Now, granted, it says Bishop Hendricken versus Providence Day, I think was the name of the actual. It said Hendricken was playing Providence Day, right? So no score, no commentator. Like some of these schools are paying upwards like $10,000 for that NFHS system, right? $10,000. And hey, we need a commentator. Yeah, that'll be another $10K. Me another $10K if you want somebody. So that NFHS, they really have to do better with their package. There's so many better options. Fans Only Sports has a great streaming option. Good commentators. They're growing. They've been doing so many more games. And they didn't pay me to say that either. But salute to Fans Only Sports. Salute to Ronnie and his team, what they have going on over there. But the Central game and the Bishop Hendricken game, you watch that game and it's going into the fourth quarter. Hendricken's up 7-0, and you're like, wow, Central's keeping it competitive. And Coach Washington said all season that he wanted to play Hendricken. He wanted to play the best. Who's deemed the best? Hendricken, LaSalle. And I said earlier on, Coach Washington wanted to play LaSalle. He didn't want to play East Providence. He didn't want to have to go in and destroy a B6 team. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to play Hendricken. He wanted to play the LaSalles. He wanted to play the better one. So now he ends up playing East Providence. That game will be at Central. Central having the better seed. Let me see if that game is actually at. Let me see, Friday. Okay. That game could be, and we'll check when we get to that other page. That game could be at Conley Field. But we're going to bring in special guest. I mean, by popular demand, I had to go to his agent, do all these things to get this guy on, and I'm glad we can get him on. Welcome.
What's going on, Mike? How are you?
All right. I'm glad your agent was able to schedule, some time this morning. My mystery guest.
Yeah, hilarious.
What's up, Mr. Kilgore? How we doing?
I'm doing all right. Here.
I'm just going over some of these brackets. I said, let me see if Emerson's available. Maybe we could talk about, the playoffs coming up, good things. Last night's game, I'll tell you, the SKEG game, if that game goes a different way, Central Knights is that number 2 seed, and they would be playing LaSalle, and that's what Coach Washington wanted. He said, I want that LaSalle game, but now he's going to East Providence. They're going to play East Providence. What do you think about that whole matchup?
Well, I mean, I know with the Central Hendricken game, I mean, it basically took, it was down to the last couple seconds, and then Hendricken pulled it off. But Central has they're a good team. I know they had some bumps in the road with some of the games they had, but they really play well against great competition, and those are the teams you really got to be careful of. Because they're the type of team that they're going to give it their all, and they're not going to hold back. So it's those type of teams are always the most dangerous, because there's always the teams that have really nothing to lose. Are always the more dangerous ones, and I think with Central, they're the type of team that not that they have nothing to lose, but they have everything to gain. Kind of put it that way. To doing what they've been doing. So this postseason is going to be interesting. I'm definitely ready to see what happens, and see how things fall into place.
Yeah, definitely. And East Providence, this has not been their season. Maybe soon they could match that beautiful facility they have, and build a great program. But they still make the playoffs, as a 6 seed, So, but what a nice place. I don't know if you have been there yet.
No, I haven't been there yet. I do plan on going there just to check it out. I know a couple of the coaches there, and I do some things with them every once in a while. So, but yeah, I'm definitely interested to see that facility. I know it's, for what I've been told, it's probably one of the best ones in the state now. And again, I think a school like East Providence with their history, and definitely deserve that. And I know, I played on their old facility, and it was fierce and things like that. So it's good to see. It's good to see that city invested in that high school and its sports programs. More cities and towns in the state need to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Another team that has been struggling this season. They made the playoffs, and no fault of their own have they been struggling. It's just injuries happen. Small, Woonsocket High School, getting the 5th seed, going against another team from the northern part of the state, Coach Ferraro, Burrillville. And that team I've been kind of critical about, not about them, but that they do not belong in Division I with the size of their school, and that's another story for another day. But Burrillville and Woonsocket, is that a good matchup?
I think it is. First of all, I definitely agree with what Coach said about them not being Division I. And again, we'll leave that for another podcast. But I think that's going to be an interesting game. There's two teams that have they've had their ups and downs in Division I, and a lot of injuries and just lack of numbers, and it's kind of ironic that those two teams are going to be squaring off against each other. Those are those kind of scrappy teams that you really can't sleep on. They start getting momentum, all of a sudden you can't stop them. I know that for a fact with both those teams. So definitely interested to see how that one turns out. But yeah, they're we're hoping them much success, and they're on the way to build. So they keep building and keep doing their thing. So hopefully things pan out with that, and then both programs continue to grow. But I know it's been a struggle for both of them, so it's gonna be definitely interesting to see what happens with that game.
Yeah, definitely. Two good coaching staffs. One of their coaches, God bless him, travels all the way from Cape Cod to Woonsocket.
Oh, wow.
So what a commute he has. And that's how you kind of can judge that by, wow, this guy is dedicated. And so I can only imagine, why Coach Bebo has him on a staff, that type of dedication. But to make that drive, that's incredible.
Yeah, no, that's definitely dedication, especially now with gas prices starting to go up, and just obviously other things going on is really a good thing. Really good thing to see.
I know all commutes and everything, Emerson.
Yeah, you do.
I got it on lock.
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
Another game, Shea High School be coming in as the 5th seed. Salute to Shea. Salute to Coach Dino up there, Coach Torres. I love what they do. Playing Portsmouth, a very tough school, coming in at the number 4 seed. What do you think about that one?
Well, I know from with playing, being in football for, I know Shea is always a tough team, no matter what division they're in, and where they're ranked. So Shea is definitely a team that Portsmouth cannot sleep on. They're known for having speed. They're known for being tough. But I mean, again, then you have Portsmouth, who's they're always in the mix for the state championship. So can't really see obviously I know Shea's not going to sleep on them being the lower seed, but Shea's got their work cut out for them. But I expect a good game regardless.
Yeah, definitely. Portsmouth always seems to be hungry, playing tough football up there on that side of the state, and there ain't enough things I could say about Shea. Like, I love what they do. What Coach Mike Murray does between Shea and Fairlawn. Like, there's just, like I say, there's kids that play football and there's football players. Like, there's guys that coach football and then there's football coaches. And I think Mike Murray is a football coach.
No, Mike is. I've known Mike for a while. He's definitely a football guy. He's actually in the Hall of Fame for the NFL for his years with the North Attleboro Renegades there. So he's done a really good job throughout the years playing football, and honestly, even more of a good job being a very solid coach for these young men in Pawtucket there. He prides himself with work with them and does a really good job. I mean, I know he's worked with a lot of inner city youth and really knows how to reach out to them. And again, it shows with how he's coaching, his coaching abilities and his consistency in coaching. So really does a good job there. And shout out to him. We need more guys like him. So, but he does a really good job with both programs there, and he's continuing to do so.
And then we're gonna have Cumberland and EG. EG had a game last night that I was just speaking about earlier, and Central was definitely keeping an eye on that game. I think Central really needed EG to win to get that number 2 seed. But now EG will play Cumberland. The winner of that will play the winner of the Portsmouth Shea game. I know you refereed a Cumberland game this season. I think it was about 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I've actually refereed 2 Cumberland games, and keep forgetting his number, but this kid is like lightning fast.
Cam Pedro.
I think it's number 2, I believe. He is definitely impressive. When that ball gets in his hands, good luck. And he's. I know Cumberland is a team that's that's up and coming, I would say, but that kid is phenomenal. I'll definitely say that on the record there. I mean, they give that ball to him, and he is off and running. It's literally, that ball gets handed to him, and it's a good 6, 7, 8, 10, 12-yard game. And if it's an open field, forget it. So, but yeah, look, I say you got to come, and play every single game. But I mean, having weapons like that definitely helps you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Cam Pedro, he definitely always has the stats. Yeah, I think he even made Rhode Island ranked a couple of weeks ago. 30 carries, I think he had for the night. So yeah, they definitely he got him to 3-3. So yeah, he's definitely a hell of a back. That's going to be a good game. B3 versus A6. But I think Cumberland, if I had to pick, would win that game. And, I have to really go with Portsmouth over Shea. Sorry, Mike, but I have to keep it real. So, I think that's going to be come down to Portsmouth and Cumberland, and then Central and Burrillville, and then we'll have to see. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but that's
Right.
how the Division 1 games look this week. So Central, East Providence as Central, Woonsocket at Burrillville, Shea at Portsmouth, and EG at Cumberland. So,
Yep.
and before you came on, I was talking about we're going to have Bishop Hendricken and NK. That's the 1 and 2, and then SK and LaSalle. Now, LaSalle, to me, right now, best school in the state. I got Hendricken dropping down to first time, long time to a 3.
Uh-huh.
You agree on any of that?
Well, I agree that LaSalle definitely looks good this year. I know that I know they've done well in a lot of games, and really had a outstanding game the last week with North Kingston. So it's going to be interesting to see. Again, I mean, no disrespect to the Kingston teams there, but again, I see it as as a LaSalle Hendricken game, and we'll see how it goes once again. But it's definitely going to be it's definitely going to be an interesting game. With these two, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Bishop Hendricken's definitely going to be NK. NK has been beating a lot of people in D1, and I'm not going to be any different now. Division One, there's only a handful of good teams in Division One, respectfully. So LaSalle kind of showed me the other day that they kind of handed NK a pretty good L, and that kind of told me that LaSalle seems to be in a league by themselves. So I was interested to see a Central LaSalle game, but we might have to wait to see that. And Hendricken, they only allowed 15 points in league this season. So
Right.
I think that was pretty impressive, not counting this last game. And the two losses were travel games, but combined, Hendricken gives up with them two losses 105 points. But they're not the same team that they usually are. So that's why I dropped Hendricken down to a 3 spot, and I think I put St. Ray's in that number 2.
Well, St. Ray's has definitely been the team to watch in Rhode Island. I've officiated, I've officiated 2 of their games this year, and they do a phenomenal job of moving that ball, and at times they seem unstoppable, and most of the time they are. So. Now, I would definitely say that that St. Ray's is definitely in the top 3, and honestly, I would say top 2. But again, with saying all that, I mean, you can't count out Hendricken. I mean, let's be completely honest here. They find ways to win each time, and they get it done. I mean, there's a reason why they've won the last 10 out of 11.
10 out of 11, impressive.
I mean, that's really good, obviously. So, you can never count them out, and they're definitely, they are the team to beat, regardless of if they're having a little bit of I don't call it a down year, but just more of a defensive year, I guess. Not scoring as many points, but also stopping teams from scoring points, which honestly that's how you win championships. So, definitely got to keep that in mind as well.
They're still a great team. It's just they don't have the it factor like they usually do year in and year out. When they still have great kids. They always have great kids. But we'll see. That's why they play the game. LaSalle and Hendricken always have a tough one, no matter how good one or the other is. It's hard to judge them games. One of the listeners, Brandon, big supporter from SK, he said SK ran the wing T against LaSalle. Scratch my head.
Well, it's interesting. I know for a fact that the defensive coordinator for LaSalle is very well versed with wing T. So, and what folks try to do with that. So, it's definitely going to be an interesting one there. I'll leave it at that.
Oh yeah, definitely. When we jump up to Division 2, on one side of the division, it looked like it was a lock for most of the year. St. Ray's, Costco, Westerly. The other side, A side, you have Mount Pleasant, Coventry, Barrington. They kept flipping spots, and then a couple of weeks ago, Moses Brown comes out of nowhere. Moses Brown jumps into Division 2. It just got very interesting. Now it's setting up a Mount Pleasant against Tolman. Now, if you remember last season, Mount Pleasant was in the playoffs. Remember Moses Brown backed out, so it opened up a spot. Mount Pleasant's in the playoffs. Coach Quayway didn't feel right about it, so he said to Tolman, let's set up a one-off game. The winner will advance to the playoffs. Tolman ended up winning, advancing to the playoffs. Mount Pleasant this year has Jay Addison. Good coach. Tolman having good kids. You refereed some of Tolman's games. They turn it on hot at the end of the season. What do you think about that matchup?
Well, to be honest with you, I know they've done some switching around at Tolman. They have a different quarterback now. They've been doing relatively well. So, it's the one thing Tolman definitely does have is size and strength. So I know the matchup between strength and speed is always, the thing always happens with football here. But again, I think the slight edge would go to Tolman. I think they're kind of surging right now, which is the right time too. I think that they're, I think they might be maybe a step or two better than Mount Pleasant. But again, no one knows. You know what I mean? So Mount Pleasant can turn around and you really use that speed, have to their advantage, and really hurt them and really gut them in certain ways. So, but I would think the slight edge would go to Tolman.
Tolman right now has been playing good football the last couple of weeks. Really beating Rogers and Mount Hope, 2 games that were critical to them that they really needed to use. Scoring like 152 on a year and giving up I think it was 163. Mount Pleasant, on the other hand, also playing good football. They have, I think the kid, his name is Jeremy Ketter, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't play high school football until this season. Played youth football. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a very good game. I think Mount Pleasant might edge it at the end of the day, but we'll definitely see it. That is a great, great matchup. Now, B2 hosting A3. Another rematch from a game a couple weeks ago, Classical against Coventry, which that game did not end well for the Oakers.
So I officiated that game. You're absolutely correct. Hold on one second. So that game did not go well for Coventry. Coventry did play their heart out, but you call him the Buchanan factor. Mark Buchanan, they really didn't have an answer for him, and it showed because he literally scored, I think, 4 or 5 touchdowns in that one game. So, and I believe 2 were off a fumble recovery, interception, something like that. So, Coventry has their work cut out for him. But I will definitely say, I also just officiated the Coventry Moses Brown game, and Coventry gave them the business, and they literally dominated them from the beginning. So again, Coventry's one of them teams. You got to play well. They will. They're gonna give it to you. Every way they can. But again, I think Classical definitely athletically has them beaten in certain areas, and they're both good physical teams. I'll definitely give them that, but athleticism is really what's going to stand out with that game. So I definitely give the edge to Classical on that.
Yeah, Marquise Buchanan. You've been hearing so much about him. And he has been the it factor. Right. Respect to the other kids. Plus, he has a great quarterback, Jalen Hunt, that can also get it done. Can get space, give his receivers time to get down the field. I think he's actually, again, the top quarterback in the league. I had him last season as being one of the best quarterbacks in the top 5 this season, and he's definitely doing that. So that's actually going to be a great, great matchup. And it's tough to lose twice. It's tough to win twice.
Yeah,
it ain't tough to lose twice, but it's tougher to win twice.
It's tougher to win twice, and I definitely know that. But yeah, it's they're definitely going to have a better game plan, Coventry, I would assume. So, but again, I mean, Coventry did have little spurts of success there, regardless of the score. Things just, in the way football goes, some things just didn't go their way a few times, and Glasgow took advantage. In order for Coventry to be competitive, number one, they have to lessen their mistakes, and number two, I mean, they need to remain physical. They have a pretty good run game. That was very much evident with the Moses Brown game, but they're definitely going to have to step it up to compete, because again, where they are strong wise in terms of being physical, they definitely are. Glasgow's definitely a little bit more athletic when it comes to them. Comes to matchups. So it's going to be a good game. Again, but that's what Coventry has to do to be competitive.
Yeah, I mean, Glasgow scores 240 points on the season, so they have no problem scoring the points, and defensively they give up 103. So
Right.
It's definitely going to be a good game. Coventry really has to put in a good game plan and try to get it figured out. Now, the winner of the Mount Pleasant Tolman game and the winner of the Glasgow Coventry game, them teams will meet up for a match. That date is set for November 12th and 13th for the semi-round. So Westerly B3 finished third in that division, was pretty locked up. The Westerly needed that Glasgow game for that 2 spot, but as it was written, as they say, so Westerly now is going to play Barrington. They played Barrington at home. They beat Barrington 28-0. That triple option didn't work with Coach Dunbar and company.
Well, I mean, again, that's credit to Coach Dunbar and his staff down there doing what they need to do. I know last spring they struggled with that, but obviously things have changed. Graduation really plays a role in that, and I think this year with the improvements, obviously with what Coach Dunbar has done down there in Westerly, is kind of going to be pretty much the same. I mean, again, I know folks are going to come in with a different game plan, which is fine, but again, I would give the edge there to Westerly.
Here's something about Westerly. First time, long time, you have over 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards passing.
Yep. And hold on one second.
Yep. So while Emerson's on hold, Westerly scores, they come in, I think it was 1,030, 1,044 yards passing this season. And they also rushed for, I got it right here, 1,731 yards. Now, I cut the numbers off kind of right here at the end of the regular season. This is playoffs. But interscholastic league and schools, they usually keep the numbers adding up. But I pretty much but they have 1,700 rushing yards, and Zach Tuck really having a lot to do with that. Where is he? Right here with 1,236 yards. So, Zach Tuck running the ball very, very, very well. But congratulations to them. They're Barrington. Good matchup. Is it going to be the same? Different? Who knows? But
I'm back.
All right. Yeah, I was just telling him that, like I told you just a second ago, that for the first time in a long time, Westerly will have over 1,000 yards passing. They just passed 1,000-yard mark at the West Warwick game, for the last regular season game, with 1,044 on the season, and they also rushed for 1,731 yards, and that gave a season average of 216 yards per game rushing. Pretty good offense.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of goes without saying there. That's really good. And I know I saw I saw a post online there about yardage and things like that, and I saw Westerly was on top there. So again, and they're in front of a lot of good teams. So much respect to them and what they're doing down there. But this it's playoff time now. And one thing everyone has to understand, it's win or go home. And stakes are high here, and we want to pull all the stops to get the job done. So as much as those are good stats, we really have to look forward and know that playoff time is a whole different ball game than the regular season. So I think again, Wesley's going to pull it off and advance, but definitely Barron's is definitely not a team to sleep on.
Oh no, definitely. No team should be a team to sleep on. I don't care who you're playing. You definitely shouldn't sleep on anybody. Barrington, what Coach Sandy has been doing up there with the triple option, had a very good season last year. Snatched it off Moses Brown. Said, give me that. We're taking that to the East Bay. Took it from Moses Brown. Speaking of Moses Brown, another team that kind of ran wild through the league. Never mind a division. They hemmed NK, first loss of the year, hold NK to under 20 yards. And then they went on a great run like a lot of us thought they would go on now. I heard from a coach this week, he said, the biggest problem about playing a team like St. Ray's is everybody here is St. Ray's, so before the kids get off the bus, they're already mentally defeated. Oh my
Right.
God, we're playing St. Ray's. We're playing, these, tough, strong kids, and and coaches. I think you got to get that confidence level up for your kids and let them know these guys are men just like me. They're hot pumps just like yours. You got to go into these games confident. Now, does Moses Brown build up enough confidence to beat St. Ray's?
So to be, as you say, we need to keep it real. The answer is going to be no. I think that right now, and again, no disrespect to Moses Brown. I mean, they did beat Classical, but I know also from officiating the last game that they had, I know injuries and have played a big factor right now, and they're not the team they were in the beginning of the season. They're definitely a team that will give it their absolute best shot. But I just believe that in this game versus St. Ray's, they're going to be overmatched in a lot of areas. And, as much as they like to be a scrappy team, I think St. Ray's is going to be a bit too much for them to handle. So, they're going to give it their all. Don't get me wrong. Not just going to go in fold. But, St. Ray's has a lot of weapons, and they know how to use them. And, they're definitely going to use them versus Moses Brown. And Moses Brown's going to do their best, but I think at the end of that game, St. Ray's is going to come out with the victory.
Yeah, I mean, St. Ray's has about 4 or 5 kids that colleges are looking to recruit. They definitely have great kids. I've seen a lot of their kids at camp, and that is a big difference here. The camps, the off-season conditioning, the voluntary workouts, these St. Ray's players were at all of them. So what you do in the off season kind of shows your results during the season, and we're seeing it with St. Ray's.
Right, exactly, and that's why I do what I do in terms of the gym, because the off season is probably the most important time of the year, because literally you're training all year for 10 or 11 games. And it takes literally the entire time to get your body in shape for those games, and you can't slack. I mean, if you want to play at that next level, I mean that's how that goes. So
speaking
really
of the gym, tell everybody where it's located, because I was just about to give you a plug anyway. Where you located?
Well, my gym is 401 Strength and Fitness, and we're located at 400 Warwick Ave, number 7. And right off of Warwick Ave here. Actually got gonna have some clients coming in a few minutes. Getting ready for got one young man who's trying to walk on, and have other young men right now that just want to get better in high school. So, but yeah, definitely for all your off season needs here, off season training needs, come on down.
All right, we'll rush through the rest of this. Narragansett and Central Falls. Central Falls been off for a few weeks. They were supposed to come back the game against Pilgrim Friday, no practice time. Do they just stay out, or do they come back and get beat by 50 against Narragansett? Respectfully, no disrespect to Central Falls, but
honestly,
it's a tough one.
I honestly, I think that Central Falls does the right thing and let these boys play. Regardless of what the score might be, let these boys go out there and give it their best shot. I mean, that's a team that has nothing to lose. They just need to go out there and do their thing and just execute and see what happens. Again, Narragansett has been unstoppable this year, and you know what? It is what it is. Let these boys play. Let all them seniors go out. As you know what, we might have had some struggles here, but you know what? We gave it our best shot, and that's that. So I would definitely say let them play. Let them do their thing.
Salute to you, Emerson, for that. Exactly. The next game, Johnston High School, Middletown. That game ended in a 1-point this week. They played this week, and now the way the seeding fell, they're playing again. Johnston pulled it out by 1. Can they repeat it again, or do they get knocked out the playoffs?
Honestly, that's a tough one to call. I mean, it's that one's going to be an interesting one. I'm kind of put it that way. I mean, teams are, somewhat evenly matched there. So let's, again, that's one of them games. Like, you know what? Let's just sit back and see how things, develop. I think that, I don't really have a call for that. I think that, that's just going to be one of the games to watch. Let's see what happens there.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be. That's going to be one of the tighter games. A game that didn't go well in North Smithfield's favor. It's going to be Game 3, November 5th at 6 p.m. Charahoe and North Smithfield. Charahoe won the last game by 41. A couple weeks later, that was Coach Piva's first game. North Smithfield looking a little better, a little stronger. Can they pull it out?
Well, again, I'm a firm believer in any given Sunday or even given game day. Anything's possible, but I know Charahoe's another team. They had a really good year this year. I think that North Smithfield has pulled it together, and they'll definitely have a better showing. But I think overall, I believe Charahoe's probably going to pull away with the win there.
Okay, we'll jump on to the other last game in that division for the week. Tollgate and Pilgrim. A game we should have seen the beginning of the season. Tollgate opts out for COVID reasons. Is Tollgate, can they get it done against Pilgrim?
So I'm going to have a little bit of a bias here because, I'm a Pilgrim alumni. But I know both coaching staffs are really good. I think that, Pilgrim has done well again this year under Coach Simpson. He's done a wonderful job there. I know Tollgate has struggled with, different things. I've worked with some of their kids. They're really good. But I think the advantage goes to Pilgrim. Again, they've had a good year this year, and they've been rolling. So, bias or no bias, I give Pilgrim the edge in this game.
And a couple other games we have this week. We still have to wait for Division 4. One more week, you're going to have Hope and EWG. That game now kind of it's just really, EWG is locked into the playoffs. Yep. Right now, the question is, do they go all out and keep their guys in, or do they go easy?
Well, I think they go in with going, swinging, and then as that game, as the game progresses, they kind of go there. Knowing Coach Fortin, I think he's going to go in and try to make a statement early, and then see where the pieces fall after that. So I think that's going to kind of be his game plan going into there.
No, another game, North Providence and Scituate. If Scituate can beat North Providence, it moves the seeding around. You're going to have to keep an eye on North Providence, Davies, and PCD this week in that division. Things could swap up. Can Scituate, at the end of the season, pull out a last regular season win?
Well, as I keep saying, anything is possible. North Providence can't sleep on them regardless of Scituate's record here. The big problem arises when teams come in and they underestimate their opponents. I'm hoping that that's not the case here with North Providence. However, you have to come and play. So, I definitely give the slight edge to North Providence there. But again, if they can pull it together, if Scituate can pull it together, things can definitely happen there. I definitely think that I've officiated a Situate game, and they definitely have some tools. I know they've gotten a little bit better during the season, but at the end, I mean, if they kind of if they kind of ebb and flow here, I would give the advantage slightly to North Providence.
All right, Juanita Sanchez and Smithfield High School. Juanita Sanchez coming up with some steam as the season comes in, and could possibly get that 2 spot.
So I know I know the Smithfield team. I've officiated their game, and I was definitely impressed with how they did things. But yeah, they're on the other side of that. Says they like you said, they're building steam. I think this is going to be a game that I can't make a judgment. It's going to be one of them games that we need to sit and find out. Watch that game and see how it goes. This kind of ones. It's kind of like the one of them when you do the NCAA brackets, and you always get the 8 versus 9 seed, and it can really go either way. It can go the 9 seed or the 8 seed. I think that's one of those games. So I'm not going to make a call on that. I think that it's going to be definitely one of them games that is going to be is literally going to be up to the fourth quarter and see what happens there. Like I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. I think it's going to be back and forth, and the less mistakes, the team that makes less mistakes will win.
Awesome. Emerson, hang on 1 second. I just want to end this. There's something I want to tell you off air, but thank you. I appreciate it. Emerson Kilgore. Check him out, 401 Strength and Fitness. He's in the gym all the time. Very nice place. Very clean place. And guys, tune in this week. We're going to still have some great coaches.